All right, my friends, I think it's time for an kind of a review, bring you up to speed on a few things because it's very easy to get caught up in all this stuff and all these people. Like this, who's this Bednar's doofus? That's another story. Did I tell you that story? I think I did. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but they're talking about him. Apparently nobody likes him. He's a jerk. I guess. Another jerk off. Whatever. I mean, okay, fine. Anywho, the other day I posted on X. People who wear their hat backwards. I'm sorry, you're an adult. That and hoodies drives me crazy. Hoodies. What are you, a thug? What are you gonna rob a 7-Eleven? That's terrific. What are you, the Unabomber? And the other one is the hat backwards. Think about that. You buy the hat. It's got this anyway. So I wrote, and it was about somebody that I knew who drove me crazy, kind of hoping maybe he'd see it. So anyway, this guy, Bedbug, whatever his name is, he writes back. I said, basically, anybody who wears a hat backwards is retarded. And he comes back and says, well, who are you? Old man, paw. I go, who the hell is this guy? What are you talking about? I've been talking about you. This guy's a complete loser. Anyway, this is where we are. So you got this loser. You got. Let's face it. It even gets better. Laura Loomer, I don't know where. One day, as we used to say, this will not be a good end. This will not be a good end for this woman. She is not. When they cut bait with her, when Trump says, "Look, I just can't walk away from this dingbat. I've got to officially say she has nothing to do with MAGA. Don't call her MAGA. She's not." And then she's going to go berserk, and then I think a lot of the TPUSA people who don't really have anything to do with it are going to say, don't include us. And you know what's bad too? When Israel said, we're able to handle some pretty bad PR sometimes from time to time, being whatever. But this one, we want to have nothing to do with. So if she loses Israel, TPUSA, Ben Shapiro, we'll get to him in a moment, and Trump, what is she going to do? She's going to go bell tower time. I mean, we're talking top of the world, Ma. We're talking, Whitman. I mean, just so that's not all these little rats running around crazy. And then Drudge is showing that Ben Shapiro, he's blown up. He's just completely blown up. He took whatever his job was, doing whatever it was that he did, I guess spokesperson, and he got rid of that because people hate him. See, it's not good. See, when you're a spokesperson and people hate you, it's not good. It's not good. Little things in life, little truisms, little facts. One of them, it's not good when you're a spokesperson and people hate you. You're supposed to be likable. See? Okay. So here's the latest. Oh, Tyler, baby. Tyler Robinson. This case is so good. I got to tell you this again because nobody's talking about it. And you can talk about all you want about little things, about cameras in the courtroom, and that's good. But here's the big picture, and this is what I wanted to tell you about. This is the thing I wanted to bring to your attention, which I find absolutely fantastic. And that is simply this. This is a case where the prosecution has to prove beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, shot, dispatched, committed a homicide, and you can't say, well, we don't know how, but he just did. No, homicide, you have to say there's got to be some connection as, well, how did you do it? Oh, I don't know. I scared him. I put a spell on him. No, you have to articulate how it was that you did this. So here's the thing, and this is what I want you to listen to. Imagine you're a juror, and as a juror, you are in the jury room, and lo and behold, in the jury room, ready for this? You're being asked to find him guilty. And you say, with what? He shot him with what? What? well, there's this rifle. No, the court's going to find, or eventually, it hasn't been official yet, but the ATF and all these reports say there's no connection between the rifle and anything else. Not with anything. This, I think you know my favorite, this is my lint brush. This has nothing to do with it either. This has as much to do with the final dispatch of what took Tyler down than this lint brush. I'm not trying to be cute about this. I mean it. It's one of those things where it's critical. So they're going to go back and say, well, he did something. We found him. We're going to find him guilty of murder. How? How? Again, by a spell, evil spirits scaring him. No murder weapon. In all the cases, JFK, MLK, nobody even doubted for a moment that the means of dispatch, the means of death, was a round, a bullet. Here, we don't even know what it was, because I'm telling you, when we find out what was retrieved from within the body of poor Charlie, you're not going to find lead fragments from a round, from a 30-06. You might find plastic or some kind of weird, strange epoxy or something that is inconsistent with a bullet or a projectile that is fired by combustion. That is the definition of a firearm, of a bullet. You got that? Let me say it again. We're sitting in the room. We say, okay, find him guilty. How? He looks guilty. Okay, the second thing is, okay, what about, I know what it is. The confession. What confession? The confession he made to the cops. He didn't make a confession to the cops. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, what about the confession he made to Junebug or Luna? Well, what about that one? Well, he said he was kind of, it's me, if you believe, if we can authenticate all these text messages, weird text messages. Look underneath the keyboard. I've got to my Discord. It doesn't make any sense. And then when you think when you go to the police, he's turning himself in. By the way, he turned himself in to save his life. He doesn't say anything. And if he were to say, he confessed to doing what? With what? If I walked into a police station in Utah on that day, and I walked in and said, yes, I did it. Here, take me. I did it. I whacked Charlie. Arrest me. How'd you do it? I don't know. But I did it. No. How'd you do it? I don't know how I did it. Was it with a rifle? Maybe. Sir, unless you tell me how you did it, we can't. You can't just give me a generic. Well, a spell, a potion. I don't know. So because I can't even confess to something without being able to tell somebody how I did it, what I did, because there's no connection. How are you going to find somebody guilty for something when you don't know how he did it? It's in fact one of the reasons, one of the ways they eliminate these crazy, because remember one thing, more people will call cops and will volunteer, will confess to having done it than you can imagine. During the Lindbergh case, during the Lindbergh kidnapping, there were like, I don't know how many, a couple hundred people who said, I did it. It wasn't Helpman, it was me. It's like, you're going to get the chair. I don't care. So if you call up and you say, listen, I did it. Did what? Well, how was it? Okay. Well, there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can strangle, drown, asphyxiate, shoot, stab, drug. What did you do? And let's assume you don't know. They won't even take a confession. How in the name of God do you do this? How? You can't. And don't forget also, there's most probably going to be, and I hope there is, a motion in limine where the judge says not only are you going to suppress any kind of introduction of this rifle because there was no connection whatsoever according to the ATF, but you can't even bring it up. You can't even bring it up that they found a rifle. Hell, you might as well say you found a bazooka or an M4 or a musket or some kind of a, you know what I mean? Because that has nothing to do with the murder either. So you have no gun, no weapon, no connection to anything. Somehow this death caused by something. We don't even know what the medical examiner is going to say. There was no exit wound. This didn't look like a gunshot wound. It looked like, you might have heard a crack or something. We don't even know what Tyler's going to say. Tyler could say, I don't know what you're talking about. I was there, and all of a sudden I hear, and I go, wait a minute, they're going to blame me for that. He was part of a conspiracy he didn't know. So you're going to end up with no confession, no admission, no nothing, no weapon, no proof. So the jury's going to say, I'm sorry, let's just hit not guilty. Why? Because you didn't prove anything. I don't even know what oh, come on, he's guilty. Guilty of what? This is not a technicality. There's no evidence. Rephrase it. Let me phrase it this way. What if you had this case and you just said, this is your defendant, you never introduce a weapon, you never mention a weapon, and you never mention a confession. No eyewitness, no confession, no DNA, no zip, nothing. You would have to find the person not guilty. That's what we have here. So when I say he's not guilty, and people say, do you really think he could? And by the way, I'm a, former prosecutor, lawyer. I mean, I kind of know what I'm talking about here. This isn't even magical. It's nothing to do with right or wrong or justice. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. If there was a trial and the prosecutor forgot to bring the evidence, it's the same thing we have here. It boggles the mind. And they didn't know this would happen because they thought for sure he'd be. They thought, because that's why they had two different confessions. The confession that they wanted you to hear was the one they had planned, where he was going to say, I can't live my life in prison. No way. I'm not going to, don't take me alive, I'm a bookkeeper's son, don't want to hurt no one. Steely Dan, you know what I mean? But the one they used, the statement was where he said, yeah, I turned myself in and we talked to somebody who was a friend of the family. I threw everything off. They thought for sure, they said, he's going to be gone. And that's why he very wisely said, I'm going to turn myself in because they're going to come after me. Do you see what's happening here? There's no evidence. Let me just say this again. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. Laura Loomer's falling apart. Ben Shapiro's falling out. The guy with the hat, I don't even know who the hell this guy is. He's falling apart. TPUSA, I don't know who's giving them anything. It's all falling apart. And then the other day when you have, oh my God. When you have, and I'm sorry to say this, but when you have Erica at this Heritage or the Hillsdale College, can you possibly just do a speech about Charlie? Don't talk about yourself once. Did you hear that story? We were on a honeymoon and we promised that we weren't going to have any phones. And he was taking his classes on his honeymoon. What are you? I don't even believe that. I don't believe anything you say. If you told me the time, I wouldn't believe it because it's not that she's a liar. She just, to her, everything's a story. It's not that she wants to deceive you because she's an evil person. She's just this person who is like acting as part of the fairy princess or something. I don't know what. This is the most thing I've ever seen in my life. And they're going after Candace? She's the most rational person there. And by the way, what I've told you, You don't even need deep dive at all on this. You can, I mean, some of the stuff was just fantastic. Stuff that Barron's doing and Colin and everybody and Fredo and all these people, which is terrific. But you don't even need this. I'm talking about just the facts they have. This is a joke. And I don't know which one I'm happier about. Loomer, oh, Loomer's gone. She's like a lunar. There's a joke there somewhere, there's a pun. But Shapiro, he's the best. They just ran out of time with him. They ran out of runway. This plane's about to take off, and they realize, man, you're just a dick. Nobody likes you. This is the wildest story I've ever seen in my life. The JFK had the Mannlicher Carcano versus the Mauser. During the RFK case, you had the 22 of Sirhan Sirhan versus Thane Eugene Caesar. You actually had weapons. You had ballistics. You had actual shot. You don't even have this here. You don't have that. You have the confessions. You don't have witnesses. You don't have evidence. You have anything. And the weirdest bunch of people I've ever seen. Who are these people? Who are they? The whole TP. Can you name? Is there one TPUSA head person? Anybody who was not some sniveling little titmouse, some twit, some nothing, some negligible nothing, some nullity? No. Is there anybody there? No. This group. Remember, when this case is over, you're going to tell your grandkids or whatever. Even the OJ case, we didn't have cases. We didn't have people like this. We had cops and we had blood evidence and DNA. I mean, there weren't people who were just loathsome. Even OJ was a prince compared to this. This case is, as we say in law, a case of first impression. There's nothing like it ever. This is wild. And the deeper you go into it, and every time, by the way, Erica opens her mouth, we say, roll tape, here we go, get ready. More content. She just... And have you noticed, and I'm going to ask you, ladies in particular, have you noticed her appearance? What's your take on that? I don't want to feel you would know more. Just what's your take? How do you think she's holding up in this? In any event, that's that. We're going to talk more about this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Please hit that. Hit that like button now. Hit the like button now. Somebody said, mention hitting the like button ahead of time. It's like, ahead of time? I don't even like saying this, but it's important because it puts us on that HOV because we're doing great. And by the way, my friends, we are getting so close. Thanks to you. Hey, guys. We're thanks to you and your fortitude and your commitment to truth. I'm looking at right now, which is an incredible story. We're looking at coming on 400,000. I'm looking at, yep. We're at 398, 169. 400,000 is right there. I need your help. To help bring this about. It's a milestone. It's just little old me, little old us. And thank you for following Mrs. L as well. Anyway, my friends, have a great and glorious time. What do you think? I'm going to have some questions for you. Can you believe this case? I can't. Comment as you see fit.